From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
That's right, Taylor. 500 help. Taylor Heating and Plumbing. Taylor makes service that's customized to fit all your needs: air conditioning, heating, plumbing, home energy, comprehensive maintenance plans. They do it all at Taylor. 500 help. And if you have a drafty house, if you have an older house, maybe the insulation isn't up to snuff, Taylor Heating and Plumbing does that as well. They will make sure that your house is warm and cozy inside when it's cold and windy outside. That's the great thing about Taylor Heating and Plumbing. And of course, if you think, man, my furnace just went out, my air conditioning just went out, and I don't have the money to buy a whole new, setup. Well, the great thing about Taylor is that they don't stress over important repairs or replacements, and they don't want you to either. They can make sure that you're set up with a great financing plan through Taylor 500 Help. And Taylor is also hiring. Current opportunities include HVAC techs, plumbers, project managers, and office personnel. So check them out. Taylor 500 Help for all your heating and plumbing needs. And of course, if you need a water heater and you don't want your water heater to go out, Bradford White water heaters. They are the go-to at Taylor Heating and Plumbing. Precision Lawn and Garden, North Avenue in Webster. Precision Lawn and Garden has been servicing surrounding areas, professional sales, service, and parts since 1969. They have everything you need to make sure your trees and your lawn and your snow blowing is all set up. They've got snow blowers, they've got chainsaws, they've got lawn mowers, they've got Toro, Kawasaki engines, Cub Cadet, Aaron's. Precision Lawn and Garden. You want to talk to Kimberly and Justin up there on North Avenue in Webster, and they will get you set up for all of your needs. And of course, Express Sealers, 645-2010, 645-2010. In the summer, they seal your driveway. In the winter, they make sure you can get out of your driveway. They plow your driveway. They do business parking lots. It's Express Sealers, 645-2010. And of course, we ask you to support our advertisers because they support us here at Kimberly's Revolution and the We the People podcast network.
Happy birthday, Mama.
I don't know who you're referring to. It's not me. I'm not.
Mama.
I'm not Mama.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in cloudy 37-degree Irondequoit, New York.
Hi.
There are no Photoshop or Snapchat filters used on this podcast.
Oh, this is the mug you get.
You get what you get and you like it. Here she is. It's Kimberly Ray.
You get it whether you like it or not. Hi, I'm Kimberly. Yeah, I am Kimberly of Kimberly's Revolution, the We the People podcast network.com. Welcome all the Patriots. We're so glad you're here. I'm Kimberly, Kimberly's Revolution, right? And again, I am no expert with makeup. I barely know how to put makeup on this mug. Just Tom. He, of course, is always done up just right.
Yeah.
in
Little
makeup.
hairspray.
And Justin of Austin. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Justin
Still.
again.
Well, because Justin and Kimberly at Precision Lawn and Garden, Austin, our producer, I think it's the USTIN that gets me every time. So Austin, our producer,
It's the UTI that gets you every time.
This is fine.
yeah, getting me all set up. Thank you, Austin. We appreciate you.
You had
And
extra work today, too.
he did?
Yeah.
Why?
It was a busy day here.
Austin had extra work.
It's a busy day in the
Okay.
revolution.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. The name of the show is Dogs and Smelly Catfish. Dogs and Smelly Catfish, of course, the name of today's show. And I mean, we'll start. Well, how are you, by the way?
I'm doing great.
Haven't really talked to you or seen your
Nobody ever talks to me.
smiling face since last week. We're glad you're here. We're glad all the Patriots are here. Yeah, Dogs and Smelly Catfish. Dogs. We have dogs. We love dogs.
Yep.
We're all dog lovers. I'm a big cat lover, but I love dogs as much as I love a cat. So we'll start out by saying that Labrador Retrievers are the most loved dog in the U.S., with more people saying that that's their favorite kind of dog than any other dog. But wait, there's more. Poodles.
Of course the poodle's in there.
Yep, there it is. Poodles are quickly going up that
Well, they are very frisky.
going up the the list to be America's favorite dog. So in fact, you're looking at all these poodles and people are saying, yeah, we love them more than any other kind of dog. But when it gets down to it, the lab is the absolute favorite. After labs, the French bulldog, the golden retriever. And for the first time in the list, poodles beating out a German shepherd. What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
If you have a poodle like that, you are so extra. If your poodle looks like that, I mean, just
I wonder what that costs.
I'm going to say I'm not. Now, that is, of course, the poodle that's on the Westminster Kennel Club dog show.
Standard poodle.
That's the standard poodle. My aunt, Reen, I have an Aunt Reen. She had poodles and their eyes were always watering. And I just always thought they smelled. I am not a big fan of poodles. While I love all dogs, I'm not a huge fan of the poodle. Just because of their eye thing. And I always thought they were whiny dogs.
My grandmother had 3 poodles. They were all named Cuddles.
Not at the same time, right?
No.
Okay. So there's this guy I used to know. He lived out where I used to live in Hilton. And he had, what kind of dogs were they with the big long ear? No, he had
Basset Hound?
No, he had a beagle. He had beagle, Basset Hound, beagles. He had beagles.
Okay.
And so and he was an old dude. He passed away probably about 10 years ago, but he was an old dude.
Okay.
And I say he's an old dude because he'd had beagles going back to the 1950s, and every beagle he had, he named Ike.
There you go.
So every dog he had since the 50s, the guy named Ike. And
yeah, we had a neighbor back in the day in Irondequoit that they had sheepdogs. And
Yeah.
They were all named George. Like 5 of them.
I don't know why you do that, but yeah. So did we show a picture of Tom's dog?
This Bailey Marie?
Yeah, I think so.
There she is.
There is America's favorite dog right there.
Yeah, she's nasty.
That is what?
She's a nasty little bitch.
Why?
She's a female.
Look at that. Come on now.
That's her I want to play toys face.
Okay. Oh, look at that face.
And that's her puppy picture.
We had her actually on the show.
No, that was Bo.
Your light.
That was Bo, the other one.
That was the other one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She's super cute. And then my Dixie dog. She's super. Yeah, that's America's favorite dog right there.
Sure.
She even poses.
And she's very nice. She cuddles, gets right on the couch with you and cuddles.
She does. She's a very nice dog. So that is, the dog portion of the show. Austin, what kind of dog you have? You have a dog? Are you a dog or a cat person, Austin?
I am a dog person. I am currently, I do not have a dog at the moment. But I do love dogs.
You do love dogs. Yeah.
Both my brother and my stepsister each have golden doodles.
Oh, golden.
Which
yeah.
are really nice breed.
They're very popular.
Yes.
They're very popular right now. The golden doodle. Yeah. I mean, I have Chihuahuas too. So, but yeah, top dog in the U.S. is still the lab, and we love all dogs.
So
dogs are great.
The Papillons did not make the list this year. Maybe it's because they cost $2,000.
What?
Who the hell would get one? Except Bailey Marie. We got her for $300 from an Amish farm.
I'm not judgmental much, but
Puppy,
I always say adopt, don't shop.
Puppy,
that's what I do. I'm not judging you if you go out and spend your good heart. It's your money. It's your money. You do what you want with your money. But all I'm saying is adopt, don't shop. All of my dogs are rescues. All of my cats are rescues. I've never paid an exorbitant amount for any kind of animal, and I never will. I never will. Chat says I have a Yorkie. I know. And someone says, no way is that face nested. Joy says of your little Bailey. She's so cute.
I'll bring her over to meet you, Joy. It won't last long.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so she takes after you and your temperament. All right. So the cats, obviously, again, the dogs and Smelly Catfish. I thought it was interesting because the Biden administration is rounding up TikTokers to spread their democratic craziness everywhere. So they've rounded up, I think, like 60 of the top TikTokers, and they want to push this message that Biden isn't responsible for inflation. Biden isn't responsible for the gas prices. Biden isn't responsible for all the zillion things that are going wrong in the United States right now. Right. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch. This is why you can't trust media any longer. This is the tweet they sent out yesterday. The pain at the pump is real, but the pandemic and Russia caused it. not Biden. This is how you know media has been bought off.
Well,
That tweet right there says everything about the media and what you can believe and what you cannot believe.
some of it is partly true. I mean, we did print trillions of dollars for the pandemic that we probably didn't need.
And whose fault was that?
Well, that was Trump. That was Trump first, and then Biden.
Yeah, I
both
mean,
of them.
So I mean, so there
All
you go.
politicians like to print money, Kimberly.
Well, it has an effect.
It does.
It certainly has an effect. I mean, inflation virtually every time of consumer good that you can name has gone up, but we'll get to that in a second. So the Biden administration hired all these TikTokers, and they're going to push the message that Biden is doing the right thing in the Ukraine, that Biden is doing the right thing by supplying, I think it's $13.6 billion in aid for Ukraine, because the Senate just approved $1.5 trillion. And that will provide $13.6 billion to Ukraine, which, you know, whatever on whatever side. I mean, but war is inflation's best friend, right? They're hand in hand. They go together like peanut butter and jelly, war and inflation.
Well, the way economics works is when you print more money, then that means the money that you currently have is worth less.
Without a doubt. But I just want to tell you what these TikTokers are absolutely about, right? You can't believe them either. Because
wait a minute, whoa, you can't believe social media?
You can't believe social media
Really?
Because what you're seeing the majority of time on TikTok isn't even real. That's
insane.
They call them the catfishers of TikTok. And I don't know if you've seen them. I'm fascinated by some of these individuals, and they're male and female, that start out one way. This is a true picture. This is the New York Post did this story today about these catfishers of TikTok. And they talk about their beauty tricks and how they go from that on the one side to woo, beautiful on the other side. And it takes probably about an hour and a half, but they speed it up and they do it for you on TikTok. If you watch them, I'm fascinated about how they draw their eyebrows and how they do all of this. They call it, shading. They, make sure they're defined at their cheekbones, and they use all this stuff to highlight and get rid of their double chin. And I mean, they look like they are Native Americans on the warpath in 1830. I mean, they've got so many stripes and everything, and then they blend it all out with a brush. But this is what this one girl looked like before she started her makeup routine, and that is the end. And they say that you can't even tell. That's not the same person, right? They put in fake teeth, or you can't even see her teeth because she's not showing you her teeth. But some of them actually put in false teeth to make them look like they're not toothless wonders.
What was that beauty pageant show back in the day where they used to take kids and they would fix them up and then throw them out on stage, and they'd be like, the kids would come off and take their teeth out and they take their hair out.
I've never even heard of that.
What was the name of that show that they had with the kids beauty pageants?
Never
mind. I
used to watch and tiaras?
Yeah, I used to watch it with Danielle.
Toddlers and tiaras?
Yeah.
Well, they all have like wigs, but I mean, these are real life people that are doing that, and they say that
this one's crazy.
There's
no way that's true.
That is absolutely true. You can watch her do her makeup on TikTok, or she's transgendered, so it's a he. She was a he, but that is her or they or whatever your pronoun is. But got
a little Jessica Rabbit flair to her.
The way they can finesse that makeup is insane. But when you look at some of these people hawking the Biden line, towing the Biden line, you got to wonder, who are they really? Right? One, we know they're being paid by the Biden administration, but who are they? They're this person now looking like that person.
They're basement dwellers.
Just by using makeup that you can get for like $16, You get the eye primer, they have a whole collection of the stuff, and you can watch how they do it. But I just find it absolutely fascinating the way that they go from picture A to picture B. You've never seen any of that on TikTok? You're on TikTok all the time.
That is not the type of genre that I follow.
So, I mean, if you're thinking, hey, this person is really,
I'll leave that alone at that.
this person is really hot on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's not the person you think it is. I would love for one of these people to come in and do makeup like that on me. I would love to see the end result. I just couldn't stand, if you watch all the layers that they put on, that would drive me crazy having so much makeup on. I feel like I have a ton of makeup on now, and this only takes me, and you can tell, but this only takes me like 10 minutes. I mean, I'm like, I can't even be bothered by all this stuff.
Am I the only one that's bothered that Jesse Waters wears like a lot of lipstick when he's on Fox News? Did you ever notice that?
All those guys wear makeup.
Yeah, I know.
All those guys wear
really
like, and usually
bright
it's like
lipstick he wears. And
you sure it's not like chapstick?
No, I'm pretty sure. And I'm like, I can't even watch this. I can't even listen to him because all I'm doing is looking at his lipstick.
Yeah. Well, these people, they put down, they use these, sticks, makeup sticks. They like to get rid of under eye circles and everything. And they put lines down their nose, and they put lines down their nose here, and they put lines here, and they put lines here, and they put lines there. And then they take the right angle, and it's all, they're masters at it.
I can see that.
But just remember this: who you think they are is not who they are. And what their message is, you got to wonder who's being paid.
They'll do anything if you pay them, right?
Yeah, they'll absolutely. Anybody, if you pay them enough money, is going to hawk any message or any product or whatever.
So you're saying that TikTok influencers have no scruples?
None.
Who thought they did?
None. I mean, I don't know.
Nobody did.
Well, obviously, I mean, they're getting paid by makeup companies. I mean, people are paying them.
It's the wild, wild west. There's no real ethical boundaries to them. They can do whatever they want, right?
Social media isn't ethical.
That's the whole point.
Social media has never
shitstorm.
been ethical. In fact, here's what I love. But these guys don't get paid by anyone to hawk the message. They're just doing it as like a funny thing. Did you see and he calls himself Black Biden. His name is Black Biden.
I do
TikTok.
follow him. He makes me laugh.
He is funny.
Joey agreed with me, by the way, on Jesse Waters. I can't watch Jesse Waters
because
all lipstick? I do is look at his lipstick.
What? I don't even know who the guy is.
He's on Fox.
I don't think
he does the 7 to 8 o'clock hour before
in the morning.
No, at night before Tucker.
Night. Okay.
And he's on the 5.
Yeah, I don't watch any of those guys.
Yeah,
I don't watch. I don't watch any of those guys. But I'm gonna have to pay attention now because I don't know what his lipstick looks like.
It's better than Matlock or MASH reruns.
Let's see Black Biden. Bama Lamb. Do we have Black Biden?
Okay. The idea, can we pump more oil? There are now there are 172 gas and oil rigs running. For mom to get her kid on the internet to be able to do their homework has to pull in the McDonald's parking lot. I mean, for real. That's what's happening. This law is going to put an end to all of that. Going to put people in a much different position to be able to determine their own judgments about when to sell their cattle.
What?
It's hard to believe that that's real, but it is.
It absolutely is real.
I mean,
the guy.
The weird part is
that's not edited, by the way. That's Biden on Friday talking to some group. I don't know what group. Talking to a group of individuals. That is our president. And that's not edited. That's one long train of scrambled thought. That's all you could. He is so out of it. He is so cognitively completely gone. It's sad, but more than sad, that is freaking scary. What is he talking about?
Nobody knows.
Moms outside McDonald's with the internet and people in Texas selling cattle.
Right.
All in one train of thought.
Well, Kamala's just as bad.
Oh, I know. I know. And we,
Austin, put back the first picture with the female with that was she was redone. Okay, now she's fake, right? But Black Biden, that's real.
That's real.
That's our president.
That's yeah.
I mean,
What he's saying, that
doesn't
is
it
real.
appear to be the reverse, right? Shouldn't the other one be fake?
It should be.
Right.
It should be, but it's not. That was Biden rambling. I mean, he's all crazy because he's being blamed for inflation. And he says, that he's not responsible for inflation, that he's not responsible for the gas prices, that he's not to blame for the side. None of it is Biden's fault. He's blaming everything on Putin. Putin is to blame for the high gas prices. Putin is to blame for all these things. But that is absolutely, categorically, 100% not true. In fact, the gas prices started to go up almost immediately after President Biden took office. You can go back and they did the, before and after. And the gas prices did not just start going up 3 weeks ago. The gas prices have been going up since last fall. Was Putin an issue last fall? No, I think we were dealing with the Afghanistan nonsense, right?
Right.
The huge failure of pulling individuals and our citizens out of the Afghanistan debacle. We know how that ended, and that's when gas prices started going up. But I really, President Biden at this point in time is leading this country, or someone is, and that is how his mind is working.
Well, we're going to find out in 7.5 months how the American public thinks, when the midterm elections come up.
It is frightening.
So we'll see if his money is worth it paying TikTokers.
So I know.
Does that come out of his campaign or does that come out of the Democratic National Committee?
I don't know where the money
the
comes
money
out
come
of paying
from?
these TikTokers. But yeah, there are 60 major influencers that they got together last week.
They didn't call me.
I know. I thought we were major influencers, but apparently not.
No.
But yeah, when you look at it, like we got our RG&E bill yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Look at your electric bill, guys. Our RG&E bill is up $68 from last month. $68. Our trash is up almost $30, right? Over the long years. So everything that you can think of, vegetables, rent, airfare, and you look at it, war and inflation are historically tied at the hip. When you go back and look at generations before us, and because of a number of reasons, because, war causes problems with production and supply chain issues, and of course, disruption in government. And so you look at all this stuff, and then you look at Russia and China coming together because China isn't really doing anything to discourage Russia.
They're buying coal and oil from them.
What Russia and China want is a less powerful United States of America.
Sure do.
We certainly do not have a powerful presence in the White House.
Well, so does Iran. So does all the Saudis.
They all want a less, when you're at the top, everyone, you have to worry about people climbing up to knock you off the mountain, right? When you're at the top, everyone is after you.
Rush Limbaugh used to say that for years. It was, about them bringing us back to the rest of the world to make it fair, to make it more reasonable.
Life's not fair, Tom.
Well, unfortunately, that's the way the Democrats want everything to be socially equal.
Life is not, and we're not socially equal. Nobody is equal. There's someone always smarter.
Their utopia is not to have the United States a superpower. They want to dismantle us.
And you can see that. And you can see it by the chain of events.
Absolutely.
of the last couple of months, of the last couple of years.
Of the last 50 years.
I don't think that President Putin would have attempted this nonsense with Ukraine had President Trump
push the thing
been in power. Now, I don't want to be, pushing the whole Trumpster thing. I'm just saying that with a president who has a strong presence, who's not afraid to punch back.
Right.
I don't think Putin would have attempted this nonsense. And what's going on in the Ukraine is ridiculous. But the fact that we're funding them $13.6 billion in aid for Ukraine is always nuts. And then you look at like all of the countries that are kind of running scared from Russia at this point in time. You know, all the European, countries like Germany, for instance. Germany, a lot of European countries have let their militaries just go by the wayside. They haven't really kept up with it.
Like Ukraine. They had a nuclear weapon until we talked them into getting rid of it.
And I think it's because, Germans, they have that little bit of guilt going. That whole, we kind of attempted to get rid of an entire race. So we've got that guilt going for us.
So you admit that the Germans are now a little leery because we want them to build their army and march across Poland and attack Russia?
Yeah, which they won't, because
did they already do that?
They're ashamed of the atrocities
Right.
of World War II. So they've been diverting funds from their military for decades. So Germany isn't where they need to be militaristically to compete with Russia. So we've got that problem. What other country over there has adapted over the years to be able to play the games? In fact, I think Trump even scolded countries in the European nations.
They weren't paying enough of their GDP towards their military. Yeah.
You have a problem.
Well, those Romanians are pretty tough.
You have a little bit of a problem with Germany and the European nations. So who runs in to save the day as always?
Joe Biden.
So while we're paying $5 a gallon for gas, we're pumping money into countries that had we had the right president to begin with, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Well, like how many people are talking right now that apparently the price of oil has dropped down just under $100 a barrel now. And why aren't the prices coming down at the pump immediately?
They're not at all.
As soon as the price goes up, they raise them pretty quick, but they don't seem to lower them fast enough.
They certainly do not. You're listening to and watching Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People Podcast Network, and we appreciate you. We appreciate all of our advertisers: Taylor Heating and Cooling, Taylor 500 Help, Precision Lawn and Garden. They're up in Webster, and of course, Express Sealers, 645-2010, 645-2010. Please support our advertisers. They support us here at Kimberly's Revolution, and we need that advertising money. I mean, hey, we ain't cheap. You know what I mean?
We got to pay all these makeup artists.
Yes, we have to pay for all the catfishing TikTok makeup tips that we learn. And then, of course, go to Kimberly's Revolution and the We the People Podcast Network.com. And we have T-shirts that you can also buy at We the People Podcast Network.com. Jussie Smollett.
Juicy Smollett
got what was coming to him.
He sure did
last week, but he really didn't get what he should have received in terms of punishment. I don't believe so. He has to pay restitution to the city of Chicago for that whole debacle. I think what was it, $120,000. He has to do several years of probation, and he has to go to jail for 150 days.
He never admitted to the judge. Asked him straight out if he would admit that he did anything wrong. And he never did, right to the end, because the judge was just going to give him community service.
He has something wrong with him. There's something. Well, when you tell the lie for so long, you start believing that the lie is true, right? In your head, the truth and the lie just kind of it come together as one in your head. So he absolutely believes the narrative that he's been, chanting about what happened, that malicious Trump supporters attacked him in Chicago at 3 a.m. on a -10 wind chill night as he was going out to get Subway. And we know that whole story was completely fabricated, but he's not going to get away from the narrative, because then he would have to admit that he himself perpetrated a hate crime. And we know this. So they put him in jail, and he says, I am not suicidal. He did that. He said to the judge last Friday or Thursday, I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. They put him in jail, and now and now he's on suicide watch. His brother said that he's been isolated in a cell because They were afraid that he was going to hurt himself. And I'm thinking, because he's on psychiatric hold, I guess is what they call it. He's on psychiatric hold in the jail where he's residing. And I thought to myself, shouldn't he really been on psychiatric hold years ago?
Right.
I mean, the crazy in Jussie Smollett could not have just established itself overnight.
Well, doesn't his personal assistant get to come to the jail and give him his coffee in the morning? And, doesn't he get all that done during the day?
I don't think so. I don't think jail allows you to do that.
He has to live like the regular prisoners.
Yeah, he's on a psychiatric hold. His brother says that he's being treated horribly in jail. Well, jail's jail.
Right.
But I will tell you, if this was done by any other individual, they would have been in jail for a whole lot longer than 150 days. 150 days in jail is all this guy gets.
He may not make it. That's a lot for regular people.
And of course,
I don't think I'd make 150 days in jail.
On The View, the individuals on The View have said on that TV show that I don't even know why it's still on.
Right.
That if you say that Jussie Smollett got what he deserved, you're racist.
Of course you are.
They say that's a racist statement. So if you or any of your friends happen to say, Jussie Smollett is, honestly, he got what was coming to him. The women of The View say that is a racist statement.
And they say the same thing. If you contradict Kamala Harris, you're a racist.
If you disagree with anything that Kamala Harris says, you're a racist.
Correct. Well, that makes sense, right?
No.
What?
It doesn't make any sense at all.
What are you talking about?
It doesn't make any sense at all. Now, let me just throw a little local situation into the mix.
Okay.
Let's go to Catholic school that's here in the area. The Mercy School for Catholic School for Girls. Did your daughter go to private school?
My daughter went to the ghetto gate school.
Oh, okay. What, you didn't have $8,000 to $10,000? You just wanted to throw away on private school for your snowflake?
We spend it on dancing and hockey.
Of course, as did most people. So Our Lady of Mercy Catholic School for Girls here in the city proper charges about $8,000 to $10,000.
That's it?
A year. It's something like
more
that.
Than that.
I don't know. I think it's more as you go upward in years. And there's a whole segment of society that gets free tuition, right? While everyone else pays full tuition.
Mm-hmm.
And we found out last week that someone had written racial slurs on a bathroom wall at Our Lady of Mercy Catholic School. Oh my God, it's a hate crime.
Right.
Who is writing these horrible racial slurs on the bathroom walls at Mercy?
Oops.
These poor Catholic schoolgirls who are African American must be absolutely beside themselves and scared. It said something like, N-word, you're going to get what's coming to you, blah, 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 right? On the bathroom walls. It turns out that hate crime, because that's what it is, right, was not perpetrated by a white student at Our Lady of Mercy, but indeed was written by a 19-year-old Black girl who attends Mercy High School.
Are high school kids 19? When did that change?
I'm not sure what's going on there. I wouldn't want to speculate what's going on.
I was 17 when I graduated high school, or 8.
I was 18 because I was a November birthday. But so you have that situation. Before they found out who actually wrote the racial slurs at the school, there was a whole big protest outside the school. They had reached out to this not-for-profit organization and wanted help with the protests and this, that, and the other thing. You've got to help us. This is a serious crime, blah, blah, blah. When the African-American girl turned herself in, that was the end of it.
Everybody left? I guess.
Nothing was done. Nothing was done. The protesting stopped.
Well, I'm sure she got suspended, right?
The Brighton police were not called in to investigate. Had a white girl
Oh, yeah.
wrote the slurs on the bathroom wall. I do believe that the police would have been called in to investigate the situation. But once they found out that it was a black girl who basically Jussie Smolletted the whole situation, everything came to a stop and everything shut down. And, everything was locked up. There was no more discussion about it.
Well, who's going to press charges? It's like, well,
the school.
the school's not going to press
charges.
charges. No.
Who would have pressed charges had it been a white student that wrote that on the walls?
The school.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Right. Yeah.
But this is where we are.
Welcome to 2022.
This
or
is
2021 or 2020.
So Jussie Smollett gets 150 days in jail. And the girl who wrote the racial slurs, African-American girl, the racial slurs, the N-word on Mercy High School's bathroom walls, again, nothing is done about it. Everyone shuts down and no one's talking about it. No one's protesting, certainly. And for some of the girls that did not take part in that protest at Our Lady of Mercy High School, those girls were called racist by the girls that were participating in the protest. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm the mother of one of those kids paying that kind of money to send them to Our Lady of Mercy, I'm cutting that right off. I am done with Our Lady of Mercy High School.
Well, we'll see if there's any impact by that. These districts.
I think there's no impact. I think we're seeing that right now.
But when there's actual tuition that's being paid out of people's pockets,
right,
and it's a religious, quote unquote, religious institution,
right,
then there could be consequences by that. There could be some parents that just say, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'll send them to Kearney or wherever else.
Which you're going to pay for.
Yeah.
How
or
about
Aquinas or Kearney or
to public
or
school,
Penfield or Webster or wherever they go.
Someone says she knew what it would do. It was clearly race baiting.
Yeah.
Well, without a doubt.
We'll see if their enrollment suffers.
Now, Our Lady of Mercy says there was punishment handed down, but that's all. That's all we're hearing about it. And again, if it had been a white student writing those racial slurs, we would have known her name. Her family would have been outed.
Mm-hmm.
The Brighton police would have been called in, and the life of that person
would have been over.
Yeah. Life would have been over for that individual had it been a white person.
Maybe it should have been that way if it was, but obviously it wasn't.
So I just think if you're going to treat, one person one way, you have to treat everyone the same way, right?
What?
When these type of things
don't go using common sense
happen
in this situation. What the hell's wrong with you?
So we're into March and having a little trouble with violence in the city of Rochester.
Again? I thought we got rid of that.
I think so far, and I could be wrong, but yeah, I think it's
warming up outside.
I think it's actually 4 murders. Because I took a picture of that yesterday. 4 murders in the city of Rochester in 5 days. 4 murders, 5 days, 7 additional people shot, 2 stabbings, 1 gunpoint carjacking, 1 home invasion. It's crazy.
Maybe we need the mayor to stand up and say, hey, guys, come on, knock it off.
I think he tried that. I think if that's all you got,
is that
you're doomed for failure.
Is that our policy?
I think.
Come on, guys, knock it off. You don't really want to shoot anybody, do you?
4 people shot on State Street just before 2 a.m. Sunday. A 32-year-old shot near Gladstone and Tremont. A 35-year-old woman found shot on Smith Street. So we have 4 murders, 5 days, and I think a round of houses were shot up again last night in the city. So again, we have the situation, and people ask, where is this violence coming from? What is causing the violence? And the mayor and his all of his cronies and the preachers and the hand wringing and the getting up in front of the news cameras, and we're gonna pathways to peace, and we're gonna stop. It's not working.
No,
it is not working. The wringing the hands and the preachers being called in and whatever you're doing is not working. Right? You got to change it up. There's got to be something else that is done with the level of violence in all of these cities, not just Rochester, but New York City, all these democratic cities across the country. We've been talking about it for over a year now about how this violence has been ratcheted up to the nth degree. And now we're already on 4 homicides in 5 days. And we're on track to beat last year's record of homicides already. It's only March. So as of yesterday afternoon, we have a total of 13 city homicides and 5 in less than a week. And you want to know where it starts? It starts at home.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, how's it start at home? Last week or the week before, there was a story, and I don't know if you saw this story, but there was a student at a high school, actually a middle school, Frederick Douglass Middle School on Fernwood Park. Are you familiar?
I am.
With Frederick Douglass Middle School on Fernwood Park?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm pretty sure it's not in a great area of town.
It's not bad.
Not bad?
Mm.
So this kid, 14 years old, set fire to the vice principal's hair. Yeah, he set a teacher on fire. And you're thinking, oh my God, the kid's got to be, he was taken off to juvie, right? I mean, the kid's not out on the street, is he? He's certainly not going back to school, is he? They're not sending someone to his house to he's got to be somewhere. In a psych unit of a juvenile facility or somewhere. He certainly isn't out among us, is he?
Maybe he was using one of Biden's crack pipes and he accidentally got
Hunter Biden.
Yeah, maybe he accidentally was going in the wrong direction with it.
No, this 14-year-old kid was released to his guardian after he was in family court last week. 14-year-old police were called in, fire department was called in to investigate a fire alarm that went off, right? They get there. The officers say that a 14-year-old boy was at the school, set fire to his vice principal's hair with a lighter. Now, witnesses say that they put out the fire before it could really do damage. The vice principal wasn't hurt, although the hair was severely singed, right? The student said, yeah, I set her hair on fire with a lighter. So what?
Yeah, what are you going to do about it?
He was charged with 1st and 2nd degree attempted assault and reckless endangerment. They bring him into court and he was given an appearance ticket and sent home.
Well, he's 14. What's the normal, course of action with a 14-year-old?
He set fire to a teacher's hair. I don't really know
accidents
what
happen.
Yeah. That he
maybe he thought it was his pencil.
You would think?
Maybe. You never know.
Why is he setting his pencil on fire?
Do they still have pencils?
No,
maybe he was clicking his pen top and was nervous. I don't know. I mean, the kid set his teacher on fire.
You want to know where the violence in these cities comes from? It comes from 14-year-olds that go to school one day, and in the middle of class, they decide, or he's in the principal's office, he decides that he doesn't like the vice principal. So he sets the teacher on fire, and there are no repercussions. He is free to go home and live his life out on the street. And this is why, and I know I'm simplifying a great deal here, but this is why we have the violence problem, because
none of these kids have any respect.
They don't have respect, and they know they're not going to get in trouble. And they know if they get in trouble, they're not going to have to go to jail. At 14 years old, this kid should not be out on the street. That's why we had 4 murders in 5 days, and we're already up to 13 homicides.
They don't hear the word no.
There's no one. I mean, I'm surprised they found a guardian to send the kid home with. But this kid should not be at home with a guardian that clearly, where was the guardian to begin with? Clearly, guardian is not doing whatever job that they're supposed to do because the kid's setting people on fire. So next time, maybe he's successful in really hurting someone.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
Obviously, it's going to escalate.
Maybe that's someone that you know. Maybe that's someone that teaches in that school district that you love. But the next time, I guarantee the kid isn't, going to just set someone on fire and someone's there to put it out. Next time, this kid who has severe psychiatric problems is going to hurt someone or he's going to kill someone. Right?
Well, hopefully he gets the help he needs.
But we have family court judges in this city who just release people. No big deal. He said a vice principal. No big deal. No big deal. You're not even shocked about it.
We're all desensitized, whatever the word is.
I'm not desensitized to it.
Desensitized.
Or desensitized.
we're all that somewhere. I mean,
as you say,
how many times are we going to see this before we go, well, maybe we should do something about it? I think probably most of the people are like, well, yeah, the kid lit his teacher on fire. Well, what else is going to happen?
And that's our problem, I think.
Right, exactly. That's the whole point.
That's the problem. I think that this kid should have gone from family court to some kind of psych center or detention center.
Well, the chief,
but he certainly 100% should not have been sent home with a guardian under
right. Well, the former Gates police chief who's running for state senate, he tweets out almost every day, the violence.
Yeah.
And here's another murder. And it's because of the policies.
Yeah.
And how many more tweets is the chief going to do? 50 before election day? Every day he just copy and paste his tweet.
Yeah.
I know. You wonder why it's like, 3 more people got shot.
Right.
Okay, well, whatever. Because that's the way that we're customized to hearing it now. Accustomed.
Well, I think situations like this makes you wonder who we put and elected to family court.
Maybe that's their plan.
What? Let all the criminals out so they can set fire to people? I don't know.
Maybe the plan is to
sad.
just overwhelm us to the point where nobody's really surprised by anything anymore. What would happen today that you would be surprised about?
I don't know. I guess I'm always shocked by 4 people in 5 days being shot and killed in whatever city. I'm shocked by the fact that a kid tried to set fire to his teacher. Honestly.
Yeah, but in other words, these kids escalate everything. So, like, your point is, what is this kid going to, are they going to go in the school and shoot people up? And then it gets the news media.
Yeah.
Because somebody shoots up a school.
I got to tell you, this story about this kid, really, it was skimmed over.
Because it's a lack of respect for a parental person.
It was skimmed over, honestly.
Yeah, a teacher has that authoritarian.
Here
like
we are.
A police officer. If you don't respect your police officers and you don't respect your teachers and you don't respect your parents and you don't respect anybody,
right?
Then what's going to happen?
It's almost. Listen, and we always say, hey, we're doing this to ourselves. And then we look. There's a local college, and we're going to talk about this story tomorrow. Brockport College, here in the state of New York. Brockport College is having a guy who is a cop killer come and give a speech to students at Brockport College. He was convicted of shooting and killing 2 police officers, and they're having him come speak at the History of Black Resistance, U.S. Political Prisoners and Genocide on April 6th at Brockport. The college events calendar describes it as intellectual conversation on his time with the Black Panthers and 50 years as a political prisoner.
Political prisoner.
This man shot and killed 2 police officers, one execution style, where the guy was already down on the ground, and this individual, as he's begging for his life, this police officer pumps 22 bullets into him, execution style.
50 years ago.
50 years ago. So he served 50 years ago. His name's Anthony Bottom, and he's living in Brighton. And he was convicted in 1971 for killing 2 New York police officers, New York City police officers. Hopefully, we're going to talk to one of the widows of the executed police officers by this man who you're sending good money to send your kid to Brockport to listen to this bullshit. And that's what this is.
They'll
this
let
is
let him
unadulterated bullshit
Right.
coming out of Brockport.
They'll let
There's no
him-
other word for
They'll
it.
let this guy speak at Brockport, but they wouldn't let President Trump go speak at Brockport or anybody else.
No.
You know,
So they say, oh, but you don't understand. He's turned his life around. He has multiple degrees. I don't give a rat's ass. Guy
he's an ordained minister.
he is the executioner of 2 New York City police officers. Stood over one as he's begging for his life and pumps 22 bullets into the guy. And he's invited to come speak to your college kids at Brockport? Bullshit.
Yeah, no.
That is completely 100%
There's a role
nonsense.
model, right?
Yeah. All right. That's all I have today.
I got a couple
You
things.
got a couple of things? What do you have?
Well, I used to
Just
do more.
Tom has a couple of things.
I used to do more, but we never get to them. So
I know.
So now I'm down
We
to
got
2.
a full slate of stuff to talk
I
about, Tom.
know.
There's a lot going on in the world.
This is a real estate topic.
Ooh, I love real estate
Austin,
topics.
put the first picture up, not the.
And by the
second
way,
one. Okay,
if you have a house that you would like to sell,
right.
please call us at Revere Realty. We would love to sell your house. If you're moving out of state or you're getting transferred, or maybe you're trying to buy your first time house, call us at Revere Realty. Reach out to me.
This is a house in Atlanta
That's
that
beautiful.
was listed for like $1 million.
Look at that pool.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Is that a pool and a hot tub right there?
It is.
Mhm.
It is. Awesome. Okay, let's see the aerial photo of the same house.
Is that a dick pool?
It is. It is a penis pool.
I'd like to swim in that pool.
So the agent apparently got so much flack by this photo that they put in the listing that
Yeah.
they had to remove the picture.
Why?
Because now this house is famous because they
It's the
have
dick pool house.
it has a penis pool. But the house
The
sold.
penis pool house.
The-
For how much?
I don't know. Sold for like $1 million in Atlanta area. But there
Looks
you
like
go.
looks like a nice area. Looks like it's on a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Looks like it has sidewalks. Very nice. Very nice.
So apparently this house was getting a lot of interest on social media.
I can understand why. I have yet to do a listing for a house where I had an aerial photo, but I have hired a professional photographer to go in and take pictures. And, not every house designates a professional photographer, but I think the higher price
Yeah, sure.
listings, like I had a house that I sold that we listed at $390. It ended up selling for $435.
Mhm.
And that kind of a house absolutely needs to have, I think, a professional photographer. But I have yet to use one of those drone pictures. They get them up there and they
Yeah.
take the whole area wide. Yeah.
Under the topic of that no father wants to discuss this with anything.
Yeah.
A father accidentally, I don't know where this took place, he accidentally found his daughter's OnlyFans account. Right.
Okay.
And he's like, okay, now what do I do? His 25-year-old daughter does porn and she has an OnlyFans account and he found it.
Oh boy.
Right. So he tried to block his daughter and he tried to block all the sites that her alias names came up at. Well, then about a year went by. He never said anything to anybody. And a year goes by and they were wondering where she was getting all this money. And she kept claiming, well, I invested in cryptocurrency or I did this or I
But
did that.
that's not really the case.
Well, apparently recently she came out to the family and admitted that she does porn. And then the father admitted, well, yeah, I knew that for about a year. And she hasn't talked to him. She's horrified. And because
horrified too.
not because he found her, but the fact that her father is watching porn. That's the part that bothered him.
Okay. Okay.
I went a long ways for that.
Yeah, you went a long way around to get
But
to that.
it's every father's nightmare that their daughter does porn, right?
Well, she's not on the welfare, right? She's not. I'm just saying she's getting paid legitimately. She's
Right.
having taxes taken out, I would suppose.
So burning your teacher's hair is horrific. Daughter doing porn is good.
I don't know. All I'm saying is one is a contributing member of society and is out making money and getting taxed
Really?
and contributing, and one is setting their teacher on fire. So
Okay.
I think that's what we have. All right, we are back tomorrow. Is Chad doing a show today?
Chad is doing
Got
a show
freedom?
today.
He is?
Yeah.
All right, that's
So
coming up
stay
at
tuned.
4 o'clock.
4:30.
4:30. And then we are back here tomorrow with Kimberly's Revolution, and Austin will be here with us. And, we're just going to have a big ball of fun. I am working on getting the widow on the show with us tomorrow virtually. So she will be on camera, and I will let you know, and we'll confirm, and we'll do all that good stuff tomorrow. But yeah, today's been fun. We're glad you guys all tuned in.
Thanks
to
for stopping
Kimberly's
by.
Revolution, of course. Please support our sponsors, Taylor's Heating and Cooling, of course, Precision Lawn and Garden, and then, as always, Express Sealers.
Stay classy, San Diego.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.